Hey folks, Corey Kupfer here with tip number 4 in my series for RIA firms looking to grow through M&A, tuck-ins, and onboarding deals. So check out the first 3 videos if you missed them. We talked about finding your why, for why you want to grow, why you want to do a deal. That's the first thing. Then using the why to figure out who you're going to target is video number 2. And then tip number 3 was creating your value proposition. So after you've done those 3 things, what's the next thing you have to do? Well, you need to get the right resources in place, whether that's internal team, external advisors, cash resources if you're going to do a deal that requires it, information, expertise, etc. And the reason I raise this is it may seem obvious, but I think a lot of firms, especially firms who may be looking for their first deal, they're not serial acquirers, they underestimate what's involved in a deal. The deals are all doable. Many firms have done them before you. However, they do take resources, time, and energy, and they can be a distraction from your core business. So if you think that you're going to search for, evaluate, do all the work that I talked about already, we're going to talk about modeling and deal structuring and a bunch of other stuff going forward. If you think you're going to do all that work, without having a plan for it and without figuring out the resources you need for it, then you're going to run into trouble. So listen, it's like anything else you're going to do. It's a project, right? And you still have your core business to run. And, obviously the bigger firms bring in executive and management teams that may focus only on acquisitions and onboarding deals, and they're not doing anything else. But if you're at a smaller firm or a medium-sized firm, or even if you're at a larger firm where you haven't done deals like this before, maybe you've only grown organically so far, you may not have the bandwidth or the right personnel or team or other resources in place. So you want to focus on that. So what do you need? You need somebody internally who has dedicated time and who has the right skill set, right, to do the research and to try to figure out how to get to potential candidates. Or to do the research to figure out which investment banking firm or recruiting firm you want to work with. Then you need somebody, could be the same or a different person, who's going to actually spend the time evaluating those candidates, either on their own or with the help of the other professionals that I mentioned. You need to have the right accounting team in place. Your accountants may be great for your day-to-day business, but do they understand the tax and accounting implications of deals, especially if it's an onboarding deal, less of a concern if you're hiring people, but if you're doing a merger or acquisition, it comes into play. The right legal team. Your compliance attorney for your RIA firm is probably not a deal attorney. In fact, they almost never are. Now, they might work at a firm that has deal attorneys involved, and maybe you can stick with your existing counsel. But, that person who does compliance, or even your local corporate person who may be able to do your basic contracts and who formed your entity, may not be the right choice. So you want to get a deal lawyer involved. And then, you also want to create a project plan and dedicate the other time that's needed, put deadlines in place, figure out who needs to do them. If you're, we're going to talk about model and business and deal structure in the next couple of videos, but depending upon what those are, if you need to get resources in place, right? Maybe you need to get a lending facility in place because you're going to need to borrow money to do some acquisitions, and you're going to want to talk to your bankers or your custodians or other players in the space where there might be capital available. That's the step. Really, what is the resource plan? And if you've never done deals before, get some advice on I gave you some tips here, but get some advice from people who help people do deals who have done deals before on the types of resources that you need in place to both find to get ready for the deal and find the people, to then structure and negotiate and close the deal. And then also there's resources to integrate the deal, post-merger. And we'll be talking about integration a little bit, in some of the later videos. But you want to start thinking about the resources you need for the entire process of doing a deal like that. So that is tip number 4. Look out for tip number 5 coming up. Corey Kupfer from Kupfer & Associates. Reach out if we can help you. Take care.